Hey dolls, welcome back to another video. Today I will be sharing with you my top 5 favorite Barbie movies. Now this is a video that we have already both filmed, but today I will be giving you my updated version of my top 5 favorites. I was separated from my Barbie movies for DVDs specifically I should say, for quite a while, as I had to leave them at my parents' place when I moved houses. But last year, a year ago almost exactly now, I was reunited with my DVDs. I was able to display them in a nice little collection that I have. I have every Barbie DVD that is available on Region 4 for Australia. I think it's really disappointing that they continued to release the DVDs, just not in Australia, so that's a bit disappointing. I would still like to get the ones that I can't play on a DVD here. I know you can get a DVD player and unlock the regions and whatnot, but yeah. Anyways, I still want to collect them for collector's sake. Now I say I have my top 5, but I do have 7 DVDs with me today. Let me start off with my honorable mention. My honorable mention today is Dolphin Magic, one of the very newer DVDs. Barbie movies, I should say, but one of the last Barbie movie DVD I have. That was the last one released in Australia. I wanted to put this as an honorable mention because this is one of my just go-to all the time Barbie movies. I just really love it. There's something about it that I love about mermaids, and I don't know, the beach setting is so like nice and tropical, and it just looks so nice. Like the actual movie looks really nice. I really like Isla. I love the songs in it. I love that Ken is present in it. And I don't know, it's just a really nice comfort movie. So I did want to give it an honorable mention. So my 5th favorite Barbie movie is The Nutcracker. This is obviously a much beloved movie in the Barbie community. Not as much as Princess and the Pauper, even though it should be. It is the original Barbie movie, the first ever movie of the Barbie series, and really, like, this should get all the love over Princess and the Pauper because this is the movie that started it all. Who knew where we would be in the Barbie movie universe without this movie? So there are so many reasons to love this movie. I do only watch it every year at Christmas time. It's just tradition. It's a Christmas movie to me. I know I could watch it at other times, but it's just so special. I watch it every Christmas morning. I love waking up early on Christmas morning and being alone with this movie. I really do love this movie though. Like, I love the music, the soundtrack of The Nutcracker so much. I do listen to that year round. I love the outfits in this movie. Like, everything is so magical. Her sugar plum princess dress. I absolutely love the Nutcracker doll that I do have. My sister was originally given the Nutcracker doll for Christmas when the movie came out back when we were kids, and I remember just coveting that doll so much because she was so pretty with the beautiful curls and the ballerina dress, and everything was just so beautiful about it. I love ballet too. If you don't know, ballet is one of my big loves. I will talk about that later on though. And I love also the love story between Clara and Eric. Like, it is just so magical the way that they fall in love. I love that you don't get many kisses in Barbie movies, so I do love just that ending dance. It is one of my favorite scenes where they just dance together, where they just are together. He's able to finally be the king that she always knew he could be, and they have that kiss at the end. It's just so magical. And then when they reunite at the very end of the film, such familiarity. But I do really love this movie. It is just so beautiful and so romantic, and that's why it is my top 5 favorite Barbie movie. Alright, my number 4 favorite Barbie movie is A Fashion Fairy Tale. One of the kind of middle of the Barbie era. We got our classics, so we kind of got our middle era and then our modern era. I remember when this was the modern era. Now there's a new modern era. I really love this movie a lot. I mean, I really love them all a lot. I love the setting of Paris. I think it's so great. Obviously, the start is so heartbreaking when, like, you think Barbie, even though you know the true story behind it, but for Barbie, when she doesn't know, being separated from Ken. But I love that she's like, you know what? If I have to be sad, I'm going to be sad in Paris. And she goes there, and I really, really love the whole movie. I love Sequin. I wish Sequin had have stayed around. She was so cute. Obviously, I really love the fashions in this movie, which you would hope so, being it's called a fashion fairy tale. I love, because like when Shannon and I were kids, we both wanted to be fashion designers. A dream I believe was heavily influenced by the Brats, but even though we don't want to be fashion designers anymore, it was still a really cool dream to have as kids. We had like little sketch pads that we would do fashion designing in. So even though it's not my dream anymore to be a fashion designer, I can still have that love and appreciation there for it. I think in the real world, fashion design is very different, but if it was like in the Barbie world with those kind of cool fashions, not all this abstract weird stuff, maybe being a fashion designer would still be a plausible dream. One of my favorite scenes is at the very end when Shine, Shimmer and Glimmer are doing their magic and they completely transform Barbie's dress. That scene is so magical. I really, really love that scene. And then of course, I also love the scene with Ken when they finally reunite. He made his big, grand, romantic gesture to Barbie. And they are finally together again, stronger than ever, so nothing can break them apart. But I do really love that. And when Ken gets his little fashion transformation too, and they ride off in their carriage, so romantic. And I do just love it. I love being in Paris. I love the music and the soundtrack to this. And I think this is just the kind of movie that can just make you feel really warm inside. So I do love this movie, and it is my number 4 favorite Barbie movie. Okay, my number 3 favorite Barbie movie is Rapunzel. So this was in my top 5. I don't believe the other ones were my top 5 last time I did this. This was, she's just moved places a little, but she is still a very, very treasured movie to me. I have some really great memories with this DVD because it was one of the first DVDs I bought from the Barbie movie series. When Shannon and I first got into the Barbie movies. So she's very special to me. I can't exactly remember all of the first 3 movies I bought, I think, were Island Princess, Rapunzel and 3 Musketeers. So she is special. Obviously, she is also, like the Nutcracker, a much loved movie in the Barbie universe. Again, not as much as Princess and the Pauper, even though she was also a trailblazer for that movie. But anyways, but I love Rapunzel, obviously. It almost goes without saying why I love Rapunzel, because so many people that love Rapunzel just get it. Like, it is such a beautiful, I think all of my favorite movies just have those things of like really nice fashion, really nice music, and a beautiful love story, and those are the things that really make a good movie for me. Obviously, I absolutely love her love story in this. It is just so feels. And when they're finally together at the end, I made an edit of it, like that one scene when they're like, "Are you alright?" And it's like, I am now, when they're finally together. I really, really love that. And of course, I really love the fashions in this movie. One of the most beautiful dresses in the Barbie universe being Rapunzel's dress. I do have the Rapunzel doll as well, and I really, really love that doll. She is so beautiful. Even though my hair is tied up in a bun right now, my hair is actually really long, and ever since I was a kid, I've always had and always wanted to keep long hair because I've always wanted to have long hair like Rapunzel. I would always say that. And I do just love the beautiful, kind character that Rapunzel is. Obviously, she's a very lonely person. She's never had any interaction with the outside world, yet she has just the kindest heart to Penelope and Hobie, and she loves them and is always taking care of them and what matters to them as well, even when it has put her own happiness at risk. But yeah, just a beautiful story, and I really, really love this. A very feelsy romance as well in this, so this is my top 3 favorite movie. Alright, so we are up to my number 2 favorite Barbie movie, and I actually have 2 for 2. So that may be cheating to some people, but like I really just could not pick a between these two, and like they are just both equally number 2. Like, yeah, there's just no picking between these two, and they are both very different in the kinds of movies they are and where they fall in the classic Barbie movies and modern Barbie movie scales. So without further ado, my top 2 favorite Barbie movies are both Magic of Pegasus and Ponytail. In no particular order, let's start talking about Magic of Pegasus, I think. Some of you may have been with us long enough to remember when I would ice skate. Yes, sadly, it's a remember when. I do still love ice skating very much, and that's why this movie still holds a very special place in my heart. I do have quite a few ice skating Barbies, and I do have Magic of Pegasus Arnica Barbie. I really do love this movie so much. It's so sassy, it's purple. I absolutely love the purple theme of it. Like, of course Barbie is pink, but when she did purple, she did it really, really well. I do, again, it has the fashion elements. I absolutely love her gown in this movie, but when it's shortened and you can see her ice skates, I really love that too. It also has an aspect of romance. I absolutely love her and Aiden together, and I really loved Aiden's backstory so much. How, like, in some of the other movies, the prince is there and he's just a really nice guy, but we actually get a real backstory that really humanizes Aiden, because he's just like us. He's made a mistake that he's trying to fix, and he's been ashamed, and so many of us have been like that, and so I really love that, and I think that's why so many people can love and relate to Aiden. But I love that no matter what, Arnick was willing to stick by his side, even knowing everything that he'd done, and actually, I would say, loving him all the more for being able to be honest. And it's just magical. I love the Wand of Light. I also love the Wand of Light's power, that it can't be used in anger either. So I think that's really beautiful. And I love the Pegasuses in it. And of course, if you also don't know, big horse fan, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, the main thing, I also really just love the ice skating in it. I think it's so great that there was an ice skating movie made. I wish that they would make another movie just solely based on ice skating, because I definitely think that it can be done, but it was done so well in this movie too. This movie, I love the snow and the ice and the winter wonderland of it as well. And it is just such a joy to watch, and I really love the quote in this, "There is always hope." It is something I constantly think about, always, and remind myself always in every situation I face. So this is very special, and that's why it's landed itself in my second favourite movies. Now to my other second favourite movie, A Ponytail. So, if you don't know, so I don't ice skate anymore because I do not have time for that. It was a new job at the time. I've been there for 2 years now. Ice skating just didn't work in with my schedule anymore. And then a year and a half ago, I had time in my schedule, and I was like, you know, I've always wanted to horse ride, so I'm gonna go for a trail ride. Lo and behold, I fell in love with horse riding. I've always loved horses, never really got the chance to ride them though. I wasn't like a major horse girl when I was younger, but I've always thought horses really magical creatures. I'd ridden like a couple times in my life before then, and that trail ride just did it for me though. I have been riding every week since, sometimes multiple times a week where I can, and now I'm looking at buying my own horse. So very cool, and you can imagine why I love Ponytail so much. I always really loved Ponytail though. It has been in my top 5 in my previous top 5. The most obvious reason why I love this film is because of the horses in it. I think it would be so cool to have like an aunt that just owns a riding school in the Alps. Like, how amazing would that be? The setting of the movie is just so beautiful, like all that lush green mountains, beautiful blue skies. I love that. Such absolutely sweet and amazing horses, but then we meet the beautiful Majesty. And I do love the relationship that Majesty forms with Barbie and what Majesty is able to teach Barbie. Of course, it also has that fashion aspect. I've always loved riding clothes. I always think that like horse riding clothes just can look so fashionable and sleek and elegant and just very feminine, and so I really love them. And Barbie's outfits in this whole movie are no exception, whether she's just in her everyday outfit or her riding clothes or her gown when they have the ball. I think that she always looks stunning. I definitely have to do a cosplay in her riding clothes though. And then I also love just the scenes that she has with Majesty where they're just alone, in the way Majesty is able to teach Barbie about true freedom as well. I do love the quote at the end and the relation it has to Barbie. If you love something, you set it free. And who doesn't love You're the One? Just such an amazing song. I really love as soon as you start up the menu screen and it's playing the instrumental version, it just gives you chills. Like, that is one of the songs that I think just gives me a lot of chills. Really, again, everything is just magical in the Barbie universe. I have even more of an appreciation now. I have just finished a rewatching of every single Barbie movie. I've been watching them every day for the last, like, I guess month and a half now. I've just started on watching Dreamhouse Adventures. But this was the first movie I watched in my rewatch, and it was motivated by how much I'm always in my horsey feels these days. But yeah, one of my favorite movies. I love watching it now and always noticing and seeing that special bond with horses. And safe to say, I am very excited for the new series later this year. I can't wait to have more Barbie horsey stuff. Of course, we're not a big fan of, like, you know, the whole Barbie always comes as a package deal with Brooklyn now, so that'll be whatever. But still, this is a special movie. Remember when it was first announced and came out, and I was very, very excited. This was one of the, like, only Barbie movies that my mum got me. I really begged her to get me this, I think for my birthday, and I was really, really happy with it. And my number one favorite Barbie movie is Pink Shoes. You know, this one hasn't changed since my last top 5 that I did years ago, and this never will change. Honestly, there's just something so, dare I say, magical. I mean, it is. Sometimes there's no other words to describe Barbie movies but magical, but there's just so many different layers of magic. Sometimes it's magical clothes, magical songs, magical romances. This has all of those. Not so heavy on the romance, but it's still hinted at there. But I do really love this movie so much. I said I would talk about my love of ballet later, and here it is. I have not yet taken ballet, but I will. It is one of my goals in life to take ballet classes. It's just really hard because they offer a lot of adult beginners ballet where I live, but you have to commit to like one day for 10 weeks, which I currently can't do with my job. But when I can, when time permits, I would love to take up a ballet class, even if I only ever do it for like a term, just so I can say that I tried. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved ballet. One of my older sisters was lucky enough to take ballet classes. I was not lucky enough, but I used to wear her old tutu around the house everywhere. I had like a pair of like dress-up ballet slippers that I wore all the time. There's like a videotape recording of me out there floating around of me being a ballerina, like dancing and twirling around. I was obsessed with a cartoon as a kid called Angelina Ballerina, for some of you who may know that. Like, when I was young, everything in my life was like ballet this, ballet that, or ballet shows, or ballet clothes. I was dancing all the time. I was just unfortunate I never got to take ballet classes as a kid. I really wish I had have been able to, but it's fine. Now as an adult, I'm making my dreams come true. You know, I did ice skating, I achieved a lot with that. I'm doing horse riding, I will keep doing that for all my life, I hope. And ballet, I hope I get a chance. I will do everything I can to eventually get a chance to try. But yeah, safe to say I love ballet. I still think it is so beautiful and magical. I thought it was so great when Shannon and I got to watch our first ballet together, and it was the Nutcracker, and ballet is even more amazing and magical in person, and seeing it and seeing the story unfold is so beautiful. I think ballet is just, it's so graceful, it's so elegant, it is so magical. I mean, how else can you describe something like that? It is magic what they are able to do, the way they are able to convey emotions and stories and just feelings with dance. It's so wonderful. And so that's why I love this movie so much. I love that even though they have brought ballets to life in previous films, this is just really solely focused on being a ballet. And I do love all of Kristen's outfits in this, even from her practice outfit. I love it, but I love all the many costume changes. She has so many beautiful magical outfits in this. Like, everything's so sparkly and it has such nice colors, like the purples and the blues and the pinks. Everything is really, really stunning. I love how she looks throughout this whole film. I love Keep on Dancing. It is such a inspiring and wonderful and heart-lifting song. I love how it can just make you feel like you can do everything, even though it's saying keep on dancing, but it's just a metaphor to me to just keep on going with whatever you're doing because you can achieve it. And I just love all the different settings in the films that we have, all the different backgrounds, all the different stories we get to tell. And I love that final dance scene when she says there's more than one way to tell this story. And I really love that. Like, that is just so inspiring and things that I just incorporate into my everyday life because there is more than one way to tell a story. And I just love that she teaches us to dance from our heart and to just be ourselves. So this really does hold always a special spot in my heart. I remember when I first got this movie, I think I was just having a really bad day, and then I didn't want to mope at home and just do nothing. I must have been like 15 at the time. Don't even know how I got away with getting out of the house, but I did. I didn't have super strict parents, but I kind of did. But anyway, I don't know how I managed to get out of the house. Like, Shannon and I grew up in a very small town with not much around, so if you wanted to buy things like DVDs, you had to take a train or drive 45 minutes to the next town over to buy DVDs. And yeah, I just said, I think I did go with some friends, although I don't even remember who they are anymore, so maybe I was just looking for someone to keep me company. But anyways, we went to the next town over. I took the train and I was determined to buy a Barbie movie that day. It was when my collection was still very young. I didn't have many DVDs and this had just come out, so it was on the very shelf being displayed because it was the new Barbie movie, and I'm like, oh yep, I'm gonna get that one. And ever since I watched it, I remember I went home that night. It was a nice cozy night and I put this on and I just fell in love with it. I wish I could relive that night again, relive the first time watching this, because it is such an amazing movie. It really, really is. Like, from the second the menu starts up to the whole movie, it just makes you feel warm and happy and joy inside. And that's why it's my favourite movie, because I always love feeling like that, and it will always make me feel like that. Getting in my feels over my Barbie movies, but truly, they are all so wonderful. So magical. To me, Barbie movies are just a comfort and a love that Shannon and I can always depend on. There's something we've enjoyed watching together and watching separately. I will always miss the OG movies, and I don't just mean Princess and the Pauper. I mean pretty much anything pre-Dreamhouse Adventures era, even though I don't mind Dreamhouse Adventures era. But there was just something different back then, and I will really miss that. But it's fine, I won't mope because I know that we'll never have that back again. But we can love and appreciate everything we got because we got lots of movies. And it is hard to pick a top 5 because there are so many amazing movies, but these are the ones that truly hold a very special place in my heart. Alright dolls, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video. Peace!